Good evening everyone and welcome to Live Bird TV. So, for those who've stuck with the team all season, I'm sure this video will be something that you'll enjoy, with the fact that others, were clinging on to the last bit of belief that we could hit a run and that we could turn our top four hopes around. We always knew that with the Premier League being as open as it is, that it is this year, that if you did string a couple of results together, even 3 wins, you've seen that with Aston Villa pre-Gerrard, with Gerrard and post-Gerrard under Unai Emery, that you can be in the bottom 3 or close to the bottom 3 and then within 2 or 3 wins shoot yourself up to a different sort of expectation. So, it's difficult to sort of try and say I told you so, because I've always been positive, so it's easy to get away with it when we come through. I did it in the season we went on that storming run when Alisson scored the header against West Brom. I believe we could finish top 4 then. In fact, I can remember talking to Merseyside Police when I did the flag welcome, and they were like, "Oh well, do you reckon you will keep coming together up here?" Because obviously they were worried about social distancing and all that. And I said, "Yeah, you better get used to it." I said, "Because we're going to finish in the top 4. And the Evertonian Merseyside Police Inspector guy laughed at me, and he said, "No chance. You ain't finishing top 4. You ain't getting into Europe." And I said, "We will." I said, "Because Leicester have got Tottenham." I'm sure it was Leicester v Tottenham. And it ended up being a draw. And I said, if Leicester and Tottenham draw, then we win, then we can gain 2 points on the both of them. And that's works. Now, the reason why I think Liverpool will finish top 4, and I'm saying it now in this video, is one, we've got a game in hand and we can reduce it to 3 points, but we've also got to play everybody again. So we've got to play, all right, Newcastle we've played twice and we've beaten them, so that's gained the ground on them. But we've got to play Tottenham at Anfield, which is brilliant. We beat them at their place, and I think we'll beat them at Anfield. We've then got to play Manchester United at Anfield, so again another little swing in the pendulum as well there again. Weirdly, we've got to play Arsenal at Anfield, and who's the other one? Manchester United. So Manchester United at Anfield, Tottenham at Anfield, Arsenal at Anfield. So there's 3 of the top 4. And Manchester City we've got to play at the Etihad. But it's just one of them now. If we can just get top 4, if we can just win all of our home games, I'm adamant that we'll finish top 4, because the home games we've got left. Do you know what? Tell you what, the defining week in the top 4 race will be the week where we've got Arsenal at home, is it Chelsea away, Man City at home? No, yeah, Arsenal at home, Chelsea away, Man City away. That is going to be a key week. It really is. Now, I'm just going to go through a few, sort of factors in, the upturn in sort of everything over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, my views on Naby Keita. We won against Newcastle, and we won in the game against Everton, and he wasn't in the starting 11. He then goes in the starting 11. We end up drawing with Palace. He was took off at half time. That performance first half against Crystal Palace by Naby Keita, I think that was the final straw for Jurgen Klopp. I really do. I just think that was below anything. For Klopp to still show faith in him, I think that was the last time he shit on Jurgen, and Jurgen just basically went, "Do you know what? I'm fucking done with you. You're no good to me. You're no good to me whatsoever," and didn't even include him in yesterday's 16. Now Bajcetic came back in, and now obviously I couldn't watch the game yesterday because it wasn't on Sky or BT, and I'm just waiting on a stick coming in the next week, so I'll be able to join all you streamers. But so I was knackered yesterday. I've been working flat out at work, so I ended up falling asleep. which was mine, because if it's on the telly I'll watch it, but it was on the radio, I think I fell asleep after about 20 minutes, and I woke up in the morning and I quickly checked flash scores. I was like, yeah, we won 2-0, brilliant. So I caught up the highlights on YouTube, and Darwin Núñez's finish was fantastic. So I was blown away by that finish. And again, VAR's rule. I'd love to see the stats of how many goals he scored this season that have been ruled out, because I'm sure there's more than 2 now. He could be easily close to getting close to 20 goals for us this season if he hadn't have so many ruled off, and then if you count the ones that have smashed the post and bar as well. So I'm hearing really good things about Bajcetic. Played really well yesterday. So if any of you went to the game yesterday, then feel free to fill me in on performances while we're on here. Let me just have a quick drink of my Iron Brew. Got to keep the fuel going. So I'd just like to thank everyone. I'm going to read comments in a minute. Hi son, Lucas has just said hello to me, my little son Lucas. And Joey, hi Joey as well son, I know you'll be watching with him. Things are going really well. We can't hide behind it. I thought Virgil van Dijk looked good yesterday. I know it was only highlights, but if he's got to be getting back to his best. If you look at the fact we are, 4 clean sheets in a row, and that's massive. That's massive. I mean, you've got to understand that football's all about confidence, right? And the back four will now be getting more confident every single clean sheet. The good thing is, I think the club are all pulling now in the same direction. So I think the FSG know what they've got to do in the summer. Jurgen Klopp knows. I'm sure Jurgen Klopp will be reminding John Henry, just because we're winning now, don't think that we don't have to spend in the summer, because we do. But I actually would like. I mean, I thought Fabinho. I know I only watched the highlights, but Fabinho made a really good interception in the penalty area, and that was the old Fabinho. That was the Fabinho that was the best in the world at one point, of just nicking the ball and nicking it back. I put a clip on earlier of Bajcetic making a brilliant interception as well. So, have we saved 50, 60 million? Or 40 million on a central midfielder? Yes, because Bajcetic is only going to get better and better and better. Yes, Ben, cheers, mate. The kids are really fine, thanks. So what I do now, and this is what I meant the other day, right? Let's just get it out there now that I want Jude Bellingham. Yeah, I want Jude Bellingham the same way you want Jude Bellingham. I want him in the number 8 shirt, and I want him to be the best midfielder for us, along with Bajcetic. And rotate Henderson, Fabinho with them. That's what we should do. We should keep Henderson, right? We should keep Henderson, and we should keep Fabinho, right? Milner should go into a coaching role, but if he wants to continue playing, then he can basically go and play for Leeds for a season or wherever he goes, or even if he wants to just play for manage our under 23s and just sign on a pay as you play deal. Because you could use Milner for the Carabao Cup games in the early rounds when we're playing lower leagues, and we could have loads of youngsters with Milner. So I'm not against James Milner staying on for another season. He's the fittest player in the Premier. It probably is the fittest player in the Premier League. If you put a test on now, and it'd probably outrun off the Premier League, 3/4 of the Premier League. So I'm sure a lot of people are not fussed if he stayed on for an extra season, if he just became like one every 5 games or something, if we just came in for an emergency, because he does his job. I'm not being funny. Against Crystal Palace, when he came on at right back, he was outstanding. He was brilliant, and he's still one of the fittest players. I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is playing for AC Milan at the age of 41. Ronaldo's still playing. There's players that are still playing. Buffon's still playing. I know he's a goalkeeper, but Giroud's getting on. There's a lot of players out there. So I think if we go and sign Jude Bellingham, this is where I was going to get to. But if we do get priced out of Jude Bellingham, right? If we get priced out of it, if they start getting ridiculous and they start asking for 140, 150 million, then we've got to look at it as, is it the best thing for us? Because, God help us, he goes and gets a cruciate knee ligament injury or something in his first season. We've blown our entire, or 90 or 70% of our budget on one player. That was why I was saying it the other day, that if it came down to it, and we were priced out of Jude Bellingham, then I'd go for Nico Barella. I'd go for Nico Barella from Inter Milan. I know someone said to me the other day, well, Italians have never really worked out for us. Yeah, okay. Aquilani was injury prone, Barella isn't. Barella plays every year, every season in, season out, and he's got a bit about him. I watch a lot of football. I watch Italian football, and they called him the Italian Steven Gerrard. He wears the number 8 as well. He's great. He's very articulate. He's very good on the ball. He's creative. He's aggressive. He can do a lot. So I mean, I look at it as, you know, would you be disappointed if Nico Barella came in instead of Jude Bellingham, if we couldn't afford Bellingham? I know that. Or even Declan Rice. Even though Declan Rice I'm not a fan of in terms of the valuation, but that's an English player, it always happens. But if you're going to put it as a top 3 of midfielders, right, that we want priority-wise, it'd be Jude Bellingham, and then I'd go for Nico Barella as a plan B, and then my plan C would be Matheus Nunes, right? Or you get A and B, or A and C, or you get B and C. Do you get what I mean? Out of them 3, you're picking 2 out of 3. Then you've got to look at, if you're keeping Fabinho, we need another DM, right? Sofran Amrabat. Amrabat's 40 million quid, or even Yuri Tillemans. Tillemans is a player who can get about the pitch, and he's, you know, sort of like he's basically sort of running down his contract at Leicester. So you've got Tillemans, all right, you know, you've got obviously Caicedo at Brighton. But the problem with Brighton is they don't need the money. They don't need the money because they sold Cucurella. Unbelievably, Chelsea paid 60 million for probably one of the worst fullbacks in the league. But so Liverpool are not going to rush. Not rush, but they are going to rush in terms of they're going to get it done this summer. But they're not going to be bullied, and nor should they. You know, there should be a price that Liverpool will pay max-wise for Jude Bellingham. If it starts getting stupid, then you just have to look at other targets. Now, I know this is going to happen, right? I always say this: the ones that want FSG out are going to pin their hopes on Bellingham, right? Not hopes, pin their campaign on Bellingham. So if Jude Bellingham doesn't sign for Liverpool because of the fee being too high, then the FSG out brigade will just basically say, see, here we go, we told you so, blah, 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 here we go, here we go. We don't care who we sign now. FSG out. That's a fact. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is why I do these videos, because you can bring them back, and I'll bring them back later on. That will happen. Even if we go out and spend 80 million euros on Nico Barella, 45 million on Matheus Nunes, and we get, say, Chelsea's Mason Mount for 25 million because he's going to be on 12 months left on his contract come the summer with add-ons, they still won't be happy because they want the £100 million players. They want the £125 million players. They want state ownership fees, Jack Grealish money, Jack Grealish fees. That's what most of them want. In fact, 99.9% want. Some of them might still be, you know, just want more players bringing in, which is different. They will probably just be more FSG sorted out. But there's a lot going for us now next season, because I said this, and I've said this so many times. FSG have made a lot of signings that you are not going to see the benefit of until a couple of years' time. And one is that kid that scored 90 goals for us. And he's, I think he's an African, one of the African strikers we got. There's lads like this Cade Gordon. There's people like Ben Doak. I mean, Ben Doak is absolutely unbelievable. And I was reading a piece the other day that basically he's going to be Salah's long-term replacement. So, I mean, we've got kids that are coming through that are going to set the world alight, right? And I actually cannot wait to see youth coming through, because that's what Liverpool's all about. If you're asking me, would I rather us go to Spain right now and go and sign an unproven Premier League midfielder for 60 million, 70 million pound, or would I rather Bajcetic come through our academy, who cost us 300,000 from Celta Vigo, no, 255,000 from Celta Vigo? What do you think I would rather have? I would rather have a kid that is more or less been bred a Liverpool youngster, bursting into the scene and becoming a player that everybody wants to pay for, rather than us having to go and pay for players. Because what was the point in us spending 60 million on the extension of Kirby and leaving Melwood so that our first team could be with the youth team, for that not to be the case? I think Harvey Elliott's going to get better year on, right? So what I'm actually thinking, if you're going to go through the midfield now, Then the players that I would keep is Thiago, just because he's a luxury player that we could use in the odd game, one every 3, one every 2. If Thiago wants to play every week, which he probably would do at his age, then I would use him as a make weight. So she could probably say to Dortmund, I tell you what, we'll give you 70 million and we'll give you Thiago. Or you could say to Inter Milan, we'll give you 60 million and Thiago. You know, throw Thiago in and on it if you wanted to do that. Fabinho, I actually don't think his legs are gone. I just think he's played. I think his legs are gone temporarily. He's only 29. Come on, your legs don't go at 29. They don't. James Milner's 37. Look how he gets about the pitch. Fabinho's a fit lad. He's got not a pound of fat on him. I just think that he's burnt out. If you look at last season in the 63 games we played, I guarantee you that Fabinho would have probably played 55 of them. Easily. 60 of them. Because he never gets injured. He doesn't get banned. Or he rarely gets injured. So it's just one of them. So I'm just going to go through the comments before I keep ranting on like I always do. But I'm really, really happy at the way things are going, and I'm really, really proud of Klopp. And that's why I love this picture that I've put, the one on the... I always point the wrong... I knew I was going to do that. I point the wrong way. And again, that way. That picture I put up of Jurgen with his finger in his ear is something that I just think that the people that are calling him out need to realise. Anyway, I'm going to go through the comments. Liverpool don't make top 4. Will Salah go in the summer? Now, his agents already came out on Twitter and said that that's a load of bollocks. But we are going to make top 4, so I won't worry about it. I'm actually adamant now. Because, would you take a draw on Saturday against Man United the way they're playing? Probably. You probably would. Do we need a win? Yes. But we just make sure we don't lose. Because I think that keeping this team undefeated is key. And obviously if you look at it, you know, Man United are not gaining any points if we're drawing with them. Well, we're both going to gain a point each. But I actually think we'll beat Man United on Sunday, because I think they've played that many games over the course of the last year. I think there's going to catch up on them. And I reckon Jurgen Klopp will just give this, you know, sort of team talk before the match starts. He'll go, first 20 minutes we can win this game. Get out there, get after them, because their legs are going to be tired. Run, get a goal or 2 up and make them chase, and they'll be gone. And I think that's what will happen. If Liverpool can score early, I think we'll go on to win it 2 or 3-1. I just really do. So let's keep going through the comments. Ben Chiz, how you doing, mate? Hey, buddy, great win last night. Everyone played well. Yeah, from what I've read, they did. Hi, Lucas, son. Hope you're well. All right, Joey, son. Just spoke to you a minute ago. All right. Enjoy your McDonald's I just sent you. All right, Sam J. Edwards. Hi, mate. How are you doing today, mate? And we will get top 4, mate. I believe in Liverpool and always will support until I die. Yes, mate. That's the best way to be. Ben Chiz, Basetic was awesome. That sliding tackle he did, he's going to get better and better. I know that boy's only 18. It's unbelievable, isn't it? The fact that he really is just great. I mean, I just love it. I love his character and his demeanour. He's got that swagger about him. I was just watching the Real Madrid-Barcelona game, which is let's have a little quick look. Still 1-0 to Barcelona, 74 minutes gone. So Real Madrid are getting beat 1-0 in the Bernabeu at the moment. And you know, that Gabby and all that, and you know, the midfielders they've got, you know, Basetic is, you know, he's better. I'm not saying he's just as good as they are. So, yeah, and well, Ben, cheers. Rachel, hello. Who are you talking with? Who are you talking to? I don't know what you mean by that. Anyway, Martin Flynn. Darwin's great goal disallowed by a collaboration of the Manc Posse, Howard Webb, VAR Chief, David Coote, VAR Ref, Peter Tierney, Match Ref, all Mancs. I know. To be honest with you, Martin, that they were the referees for the League Cup final, and how Casemiro, or that wasn't offside. He looked offside to me. And I always go back to the Jordan Henderson winner against Everton. And literally, oh, come on! I mean, that would have been given as a goal if that was Man United. Ben Chiz, now was a foul by Jota, mate. Oh, yeah, about Darwin's great goal, foul by Jota. Right, now the comments are gone. Great. Oh yeah, because of press reply. So yeah, so I'm really chuffed with how things are going, and obviously it's going to be a storming run to the end of the season, a bit like what we did before. And I like what Jurgen Klopp said as well, where he said, you know, basically, if anybody can go on a run, then we can. And that's exactly right. It is, if anybody can go on a weekend. And reading more comments come back up now. Peter McDougall, Jude, fire. He's our number 8 and he's better than all the rest. Yeah, that would be great if we could get him. It really would. Hi mate, hi Bjorn. I hope you're well, mate. Stephen Lambert, I can't wait for Jude Bellingham. Ben Doak is a fantastic player as well. Yeah, Ben Doak is something else. I was talking to my uncle yesterday, who's trying to get tickets for the Scotland-Spain game and the Scotland-Cyprus game. And we're talking about tickets. I'm going to go to Hampden and watch them, and I'm hoping that he gets called into the squad. I can't see why. He's played 5 appearances for Liverpool, and Scotland can't afford to not have kids like him involved. So I'm really hoping that he's called up to the first team squad, which I think he will be. And I hope that he gets in the Liverpool squad for the coming few games. Do you know what? Klopp probably should prioritise the top 4 now. Look, we're not going to win 4-0 in the Bernabeu. If it was back at Anfield, we could have a chance. But we're not going to win 4-0 in the Bernabeu. Oh, you know what? Could we win 5-2? Possibly. That's the only scoreline I can see, because I can't see, you know, Benzema and that's not scoring. But if it was me, I would prioritise keeping our best players fit now, and I'd play some of the kids in the Champions League. I really would. I'd play Ben Doak, and I'd mix sure, and I'd rest some of our key players. But it depends, doesn't it? Because it's the Champions League, and you can never say never. If we go 2-0 up after 20 minutes, it's back on, because all we need to do is win 3-0 to take it to extra time. Which is, if you look at it like that, okay, so you go 2-0 up after an hour, you only need 1 more goal. And then it's basically extra time, and it's practically 0-0. So I wouldn't actually write off the Real Madrid result yet. Maybe that's me warming to it and knowing what Liverpool's capable of. But I'm it's rocking a hard place, isn't it? I'm trying to think to myself, do we rest our key players, keep them fresh for the league? But you know our players will want to play at Madrid, and Salah's going to want to play, and Fabinho's going to want to play, and Hendo's going to want to play, and Virgil are going to want to. They're going to want to play at the Bernabeu. They're going to want to try and put it right. So who knows? Who knows? More comments coming through. Rachel Ward again. We will get Jude Bellingham. We don't want to Mason Mount out of form. Well, he's not out of form. He's playing in a Chelsea team where there's about 28 players, and I think he's just not out of form. I just think you don't know what the hell's going on. I actually think Mason Mount's a fantastic player, and I think because he's only got 18 months on his contract, which will be 12 by the time he comes into the summer, Rachel, I actually think that you're probably looking at a snip of about 25 million for him, and I reckon we should get him. I really do, because Mason Mount driving from midfield, but he's got Salah, Nunez and Gakpo in front of him. Oh, that honestly, I'm warming to him coming by the week. Peter McDougall again. Nunez Wolves, not sure. Just going through it quickly. It's just slided back up for some reason. Nunez Wolves, yeah, Nunez from Wolves, not sure about him after watching him over the season. Don't think he's a step up to what we got in the centre midfield, apart from he's young. Peter, I didn't watch the game last night, obviously, because I couldn't get it, but ones that did, apparently it's on Twitter that they were raving about Matheus Nunes. He was outstanding last night. So whoever was at the game last night or watched it on stream, apparently he played really well. But Peter, again, Declan Rice, I can see something happening there, mate. New captain in the making for us. Well, I don't know about that. A Londoner as captain of a Liverpool. Nah, I think, you know what, I actually think that after Henderson leaves, Virgil will captain us until Virgil's done, and then it'll go Trent. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold will captain Liverpool because he's a local lad. I think that will happen before. Well, he's only about 23 in it. So I reckon when he gets to about 27, 28, he'll captain Liverpool and probably move into midfield. Stephen Lambert, I can't wait for Jude Bellingham. Bendo, yeah, I've already read that one. Will Phil, how you doing, Phil? What do you think of last night's European game last night where Beno ended up with a bus slip? Do you know, I've seen that yet. I watched a bit of it, and then, like I say, I was quite tired yesterday, so I went to sleep quite early. But apparently they were cheating. I don't know if you've seen, Phil, the penalty they got early on in the under 19s European game. but he's made out. He sort of put his leg in the way of the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper's like clattered him, and he screamed. And obviously, because there's no fans there, really, you can hear everything. He was screaming like a little bitch. But then, if you actually watch it, he goes behind the goal to fetch the ball. And when he goes and fetches the ball, he's grinning to himself and laughing, because he knows for a fact he completely conned the referee, and even the Liverpool's keeper was fuming. So I just think they got a little bit of karma. I think that the Portuguese have always been like that. They roll around, they cheat. You know, Bruno Fernandes is the biggest cheat in the Premier League. Cristiano Ronaldo was the biggest cheat in the Premier League. The Portuguese have always been cheats. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, I remember my uncle watching the Celtic final, and they got absolutely rocked. So against Porto. But anyway, Barcelona out 4 past them at the ground not long ago. That's still a chance. Yeah, there is still a chance. Mason Mount, 100% fantastic player. That was from Lucas himself, Dad. Right, okay, cheers. So, what I'm going to do is, obviously, the big ones this Sunday, innit? Liverpool v Manchester United. So, I'm going to do a preview for that tomorrow night. And then Saturday, I'm going to get you all to come on. And we're going to talk Liverpool, Manchester United. I want you all to join me Saturday night, 8 PM or something like that. I'll notify you on the group, and let's talk about our time in Liverpool, Man United. I mean, mine goes back from school. I mean, obviously, I always talk about this, but the 1996 FA Cup final was still probably the worst football day of my life, because when you're a kid, Liverpool is like, I mean, when you get older, you love the club, of course you do, but when you're a kid, it's everything to you. You know, the trauma of going to school the next day. And my school was full of Man United fans, full of them, because they were winning everything, so you had all the glory hunters. And I still remember Cantona's volley. And I remember it was the days when the FA Cup final was on all day. And I remember crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. So Man United, I hate beyond any team. I think Man City have really pushed a tie over the last few years, but Man United has started to become the team I hated again, which is winning, getting the referees' decisions, which they did for 20 years under Ferguson. So this Sunday is a big game, because it can actually give Man United a punch on the nose. And I think they need a punch on the nose, because they're getting a little bit too big for their boots. They win a League Cup after spending 220 million on top of a squad that's already had 800 million spent on it, right? They have the biggest wage bill in the Premier League. They have absolutely outspent Man City in the last decade, right? And they win a League Cup, beating teams like Charlton. I think it was Charlton. Who was the other team they played? Nottingham Forest, Newcastle, and there was another team that they put Burnley, and win a League Cup, and they're now spouting we're going to do quadruples and everything. And do you know what? They keep getting the luck of the draw. They keep getting drawn at home. I mean, I don't know how many times they've played at home this season, but then they keep getting VAR giving them decisions. I mean, the Man City one, I still can't get over the Rashford one-on-one. And it's just one of them. It's just incredible. So we need to give them a punch in the nose, on Sunday, and get knock them down a peg or two. So join me Friday for my preview, Saturday night for, you know, Liverpool Man United special, because it's such a big game. I want you all to join me. And then join me Sunday for team lineups and everything. I'm going to go now because it's getting late. It's 9:45. But please keep sending invites out, because this group's getting close to 2,000 now, because I've got more time, and I really want you to help me push it. I want this to go massive. You know, it's one of my dreams to have a real big channel, and I got to 15,000 with Data Believers, and then all of a sudden it stopped growing, and it wasn't because we weren't doing anything special. It was, I don't know whether someone hacked it or something, because we just couldn't add anyone else. We couldn't add any more members. It was ridiculous, and it's still at 15,000 now. So I don't know why it stopped at that much. So I let a lot of admins onto that, and I swear one of them just completely ruined it. did something to the settings that I didn't know about. So I'm running this group completely more or less on my own with the help of a couple of mates, and it's staying like that. I don't care how big it gets, I can run it myself. So if you can send invites out, I'd appreciate it, because I want to make this bigger and bigger and bigger. If you can join the YouTube channel and help me out with that, I'd really appreciate it. And we're back. 4 games, 3 wins, 1 draw away at Palace, 0 goals conceded. In Klopp we trust. You'll never walk alone.